Yo, what's going on? It's Kyle, and in this video, I pretty much want to go over what I've done in the growth operating space because I've been in this space for a while now. If you don't already know what I've done, I've scaled up offers well past 600 grand a month. I've been pretty much co-founded the growthoperator.com business model that you guys probably know and have heard of too as well. And I want to even show you some results of what I've even done last month for just one client before we jump into everything. So as you guys can see, last month, I'll even hit refresh. We have done 500K off of one of the RevShare clients that I have. And look, I'll even just go through and just wait till we can get the date range. And then we'll just do the month of November. And as you can see, $500,000. So speaking about it though, like a couple things, and I actually want to just go ahead and just set you guys up right here. Honestly, what I want to talk about in the growth operating space, since I've been in here for a while, is there's honestly a couple things, right? So the biggest thing is starting with offers, So when you're starting an offer and when you're starting up a specific offer, the best offer to sell is always going to be in the high ticket coaching space, right? So it's always going to be high ticket coaching no matter what. It just scales the easiest. And I know a lot of times, we used to push like the low ticket to high ticket thing, even just like low ticket communities because it's less stressful. If you're operating on a rev share and you're only doing a low ticket community, it doesn't really make that much sense. It makes more sense to go ahead and just sell high ticket. Anywhere between 3K upwards even to 20K, you'll be able to hit 100K months quicker. You'll be able to hit that mil a month quicker that everybody's gunning for. And at the end of the day, what matters, like as a growth operator, as an operator behind all these creators' businesses, is you need to be able to have results. And I'm telling you, in life and in the market, there's always going to be a thing where, or is there going to be a stigma where, a specific market, they just care about, a certain thing, right? Sometimes, depending on the demographic, they care more about, someone's lifestyle rather than their actual business. That's why we got guys driving around in Lamborghinis, we got guys driving around in Ferraris, we got guys wearing super expensive watches, but sometimes their business is not that successful and actually they're not even taking home that much money. Same thing. So with the info space, I want to tell you guys, as an operator, it becomes a revenue number circle jerk. So a lot of people aren't going to care where, you're like, oh, well, this guy is taking home 60% profit margins. It's like, no, what they care about is how much money did you make your client? What number did you scale to? That's what a lot of them care about. And that's just something we have to go ahead and know what to attack. So for example, when you're scaling up these clients, you really have to have a good amount of receipts of who you work with too as well, to be able to go out and be like, okay, I've scaled to this number, right? And I can scale you to this number confidently. The best way you're going to do that is with high ticket coaching, with high ticket, right? Leading into that, what I've realized is there will be different types of funnels that come in and out. There will be always different types of things, always different tweaks, always different ways to do things. But one thing I can tell you for sure is the best funnels that you're going to want to use, and the best funnels that I've used to scale upwards of 600K a month, right? The best funnels you're going to want to use is going to be a call funnel, and it's going to be a webinar funnel. Simply just off of scalability, those are the easiest. Someone comes in, they watch an ad or they watch some YouTube content or Instagram content, they hit a VSL, they hit the application page, and then they're on a call. And if you have a decent enough sales team, you'll close 30% of those leads. That is the most simple, proven way you can be able to get to 100K a month. You can be able to get to, where you need to go. Another thing is the webinar funnel. And the webinar funnel is a little bit different, obviously, because you're doing a week's worth of marketing or like 5 days worth of marketing. And then you're getting people to, show up to maybe an hour, 2 hour long, webinar, and then you're going to pitch at the end. Webinars a little bit different because you have automated webinars, you have live webinars. I'm telling you right now, the best webinars right now are live webinars. Automated webinars are a bit harder to crack. It's not impossible, but live webinars are better. They convert better from what I've been seeing across the board. Also as well, I've seen that I've run different webinars. Like I've done the webinars where we sell like a $500, ticket. And then after that, we do some upsells on the back end to where, but that is, a little bit more complicated. And for you guys, what I want you guys to have, set up is it's a little bit more complicated when you're doing the, upsell off the back end. So what's working right now that's the best is just doing the webinar and just sending them to an application, like a Typeform application with the Calendly integrated so they can book a call. So webinar straight to essentially book a call. Webinar to book a call is essentially what has been working the best. You can literally run a webinar and get anywhere between, like, depending on how you did, like 50 to like 100 sales calls on average. Of course, depending on how you ran the ads or if you're doing the strictly organic, but that is one of the best ways that I'm seeing right now. But those two funnels are the most simplest ways to get you, like I said, to that revenue number that everyone cares about, right? Very shallow space we're in, but that's what we all care about. How much revenue have you made your past clients? So I know if you can make me that much revenue too as well. That's what matters. That's the game. And stick with me here because I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys some things about the space too as well that not a lot of people are going to talk about. But the next thing, to make a good operator, you need a certain skill set, right? And from what I've seen in the game, I've taught a lot of operators, I've learned the skills myself too as well. There's literally 2 core skills that each one of them have, right? Like it's like a kind of like an archetype. And not to confuse you guys, but there's usually someone that, comes in and they're more predominantly sales focused. So that means, this is probably, an ex-closer, right? They're probably an ex-closer. They've been on a bunch of different sales teams. They know how to close. They know how to set. They know good sales processes. So they tend to have, okay marketing, but their sales starts to swing a bit higher, right? They're better on the sales ops. They're like, okay, cool. Like leads don't have to come in super hot. We can close warm to colder leads. We know what we're doing, right? And they're more sales ops focused. And that's their skill set, right? Sales ops, right? Closing and setting. Right? Pre-call, sales processes, all of that, they're really dialed in on. And then there's another archetype where, they're more so copy oriented. So they come from like a copywriting background or like just a writing background, and they're really good, at the marketing side of things, right? The marketing side of things is up here and then their sales side is up here, but they're just really good at getting just warmer leads on the calendar. So it doesn't really need as much on the sales side. I've met a lot of guys like this too as well, right? Because they come from that copywriting background, which allows them they're okay at sales processes, and it's not like they don't know. But what I've noticed is, okay, cool. They come in and they can write VSLs. They can write copy, right? They can write better ad copy. They can write better emails, right? They write better headlines, and they know how to nurture people before the sales call. So by the time you get on the call with them, you have more nurtured leads, right? You have more nurtured leads. Like I said, I've seen the different game. My more skill set, I'm more predominantly focused on the copy side of things. It used to be sales for me because I started off with the sales background, but then I've just hung around the other type of operators too as well that have taught me, and they've been more copywriting oriented, and I started to pick up copy as I go. So my sales, skill has dwindled down a bit because I don't focus on it as much, and I try to focus on the higher lever, which is in copy. But back to it, 2 other skill sets that are super important, that are super high leverage. One of those is going to be media buying. So buying like running ads, which is, if you understand copy, media buying is halfway done, right? You just need to just have a good understanding of what to do in the ad account, knowing what happens in the ad account too as well, right? When cost per call spikes, usually when cost per call spikes, it results in you need more ad creatives. The ad creatives aren't hitting the right angles, or if you're getting bad lead quality, you're not hitting the right angles. But that also goes back into the whole copywriting stint, right? If you understand marketing and you understand writing copy, the half of the media buying battle is done. And then after that, it's just like, it's a skill, but with people, right? But what I can tell you is understanding people is going to allow you to build teams. And when you're operating under a business, you're going to have to hire sales reps. You're going to have to hire client success managers. You're gonna have to hire, anyone that's in support, some fire VAs to do some tasks that, that needs to be done, that can't be automated yet. You need to be able to have a good skill set with people to be able to manage, a real team. So that's a skill set that you need to as well. That's not talked about a lot. But if you have, all of those skill sets or understanding of all those skill sets, you're a pretty good operator. But then now what happens is you need to be able to apply those skills somewhere. So for me, I went through in these past, almost 3 years, learning the different skills. I learned sales from closing. I learned the sales ops. I learned setting, right? Then I moved on and I learned on how to actually write copy, do everything from the VSL. And as I learned these skills, my income started to climb, right? Because as a closer, I was only making, on average, like anywhere between 5 to 15K a month, right? But then I started, operating with the closing, and then I added copywriting onto it, and that's what honestly boosted me up to 20, 25, right? Then started learning media buying, right? Then boosted me again. Then I started learning how to build real teams, and then it boosted me again. These are the important things that you need to learn on your journey to be able to scale up any offer. And that's what leads into my next thing, right? So the next thing that I found was just like a realization of everything is once you have all of these core skills, right? If you at least have 2 out of the 4, you're already better than, I would probably say half of the operators out there, damn near 75% of them, because a lot of them don't even really have the right skill. After you have that, the biggest thing is the opportunity. And I know what you're saying, like from what I've learned and I've spent, time, in a bad opportunity. You can have a level 9 skill set, right? But you can be in a level 1 opportunity. And what that's going to do, that's going to cook your ass. Because there's been so many times where I've had a level 8 skill set, a level 9 skill set in my journey, and I've been on a level 2 opportunity, and someone else with a level 5 skill set and a level 10 opportunity is making way more bread than me. So I want you to understand this. Your skill set, right? Sometimes in the wrong, vehicle and the wrong opportunity is going to fuck you. Just simple as that. It's going to really fuck you over. Simply just because it's like, okay, cool. You're writing the best copy, you have the best sales team, but if you just have an offer that's shitty, you're not going to make any money. And that's literally just that. That's literally just the game. Like you need to be able to find better opportunities, 1000%. So a big thing about what the operating space is just being good at getting opportunities. And let me explain this to you. So outreach is, not the most fun thing. You're going to have to do it sometimes. Yes. Okay, cool. That's the game we're in. We have to get over it. But here's what I realized. A lot of times once you get your first client, the first client is always going to be a grind. And then you're going to take that first client and learn your skills. But always find better opportunities after that. Always find better opportunities. Because what's going to start to happen is you're going to get that opportunity. You're going to learn the skills. Do you go back and do that outreach hell again that took you 2 months to get a client? No. What you're going to do is you're going to be smart with it. So the same thing. You have to use people. You have to use your people skills. See who that creator follows, who that creator knows. Run a referral pipeline, right? Start to be able to get your hands into other things. Because who knows? Like there's been times too where I've met other operators. It doesn't have to be fucking weird. Oh, you do what I do. You're a competition. You're a weirdo, right? There's other operators that, like I said, skill sets are different. There's one that might be more sales focused and he needs help on the marketing side of things with media buying. And there might be one that's more media buying focused and they need more help on the side of things with sales ops, right? Different skill sets. There's different people. Some people don't want to run the whole thing. They might want to be like, okay, bro, I know a guy right now that's making 70 grand a month. And he literally gives other like operators like fractional parts of the operating clients he has, because he likes to run ads and he doesn't want to touch anything sales related. He doesn't want to touch anything like back end operations related. And then that takes too much of my time. I'll just hand it off to someone else. So that's why it's important that when you're in the operating space, opportunities are such a huge thing, right? But not a lot of people talk about how to really land these opportunities. Yes, you should do things like you should put yourselves in the right places. Right? Anytime there's a networking event, you should go. This hat I have on right now is a fan basis hat. Pretty much they invited a lot of people that use the fan basis processor. And it was a 4th of July party in Miami. I met 2 clients that I work with now at that event, right? Because you have to put yourself in the right places. Know where a lot of creators are and go there. Put yourself out there. A lot of times, bro, these creators are just spammed with just DMs that all look the same. If they actually talk to you and you actually meet, like, and you actually talk to them and they understand you're a real person and you're actually competent in what you do, you probably have an opportunity there. The opportunity, I want to tell you, the opportunity is not scarce. It's only scarce because of how you perceive it. There's more and more people dropping content every day. There's creators that I've seen this year that I never saw last year, right? That are doing big numbers too as well. So the opportunity is out there. You just have to focus on everything to be able to get these opportunities. So like I said, post your results, right? It's not cringy. I used to think it was super cringy too as well. And that was a big mistake for me. I have been for so long a guy that's like, if you know, you know. But like I'm saying, I've been a if you know, you know guy for so long that sometimes when I approach like some of these creators, I have to really go into my results so they can be like, holy shit, right? Before they can even know though. And that's the same thing. It's not cringy. Post your results, reach out to people. Sometimes when you reach out to people, try to just have a legitimate conversation, right? If you have a creator and they follow other people, try to hit them up and be like, oh yeah, my boy follows you. I run some of his back end ops. And there's some people that I have that that are creators that I just talk to, not even trying to get anything of it. And then I don't even hit them up. They sometimes hit me up and they're like, yo, bro, I need you to run this for me. I need you to run this up. And that's what it's all about. So even when you have a creator, still keep your doors open. Because one thing I don't believe in anymore is, you only need one creator. Like, yes, you can have one creator, but then you can have other ones if you want to. It's pretty much a preference. And then one of the last things that's been an important takeaway for me, right? Even though, operating around the space and knowing people is very important. One thing about some of you guys too is you guys got to learn paid ads. That's another thing I want to go into. I know, like, off of the organic, it sounds good. And I know, like, spending money on traffic is not the best thing that you want to do. You're like, oh, if I can get traffic for free, why not just do that? Blah, 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 blah. But hear me out though. Once you learn paid ads and you get over like that first hump or first uncomfortability or uncertainty, because I get it, you're like spending money on ads, you don't know if it's going to work. And then if you spend this guy's money, they're going to be pissed and they're going to kick you off and then you're out of a client. I know all the things that pop up in your head because I was you. I was literally you. But once you learn it, you can then scale up any offer to wherever you want to. One, your skill set becomes even more rare because you actually know what you're doing too. And then also as well, like I said, you can literally have more opportunities because now you don't need to go after big ass creators that have, at least 10K followers. You can go up to a guy that has 2,000 followers on Instagram. Understand how to run paid ads. And even though that guy has 2,000 followers, you can literally still make 6 figures a month with a high ticket offer. So now you can start to go after things that people think are dead ends or scraps, and you can scale it up. But anyways, I hope this video was value for you. I got to go back. I have some group calls to hop on with some of my students. And then as well, I have a lot of shit to go through with client work from my agency as well. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.